Shining bright, sunshine in the sky. Megan and Tammy here to testify, spreading love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more.
Hey, welcome. I'm Tammy.
And I'm Megan.
And together we are
the Fat Girl Flippers.
And this is the Fat Girl Chronicles, our podcast.
Yeah, so if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that bell so you can be reminded every Friday that we're around. And if you prefer to listen to us through audio, that's cool too. Just follow us on almost all podcast streams, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, all of it. Yeah.
So.
Look
at us. So.
We weren't sure really what to... Ooh, my nose is itchy.
I don't know. It's funny because we always struggle over our topic, and then when we just shoot the shit and talk about, how our week is, people seem to like that.
Yeah, and I think it just brings conversation.
I meant to talk to you again about last week. We've had a lot of comments, or I've had a lot of feedback about not being able to comment on last week's video.
That is so weird.
Yeah, I told them that I didn't know why. But anyway, it wasn't intentional, you guys, so we want you to comment. So...
Are people... Like, even after?
Yeah, no, I've had, 3 people contact me and say we couldn't comment.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
As of yesterday? Or
yes, yeah. Carla messaged me
yesterday.
Really? Yeah. I'm assuming she just watched it. I don't know. Maybe
because you saw it said comments on. Like, I sent that picture.
I saw that, but...
Okay, so...
I don't know if you have to have that on when it's uploaded. Maybe it wasn't clicked.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
So, yeah, if that happens again in this video, though, let us know because...
let us know right away because we have no way of knowing that unless you tell us. So, we appreciate the feedback and thank you for getting in touch and letting us know.
Yeah. Did you get any comments about the video?
Yeah, people were liking it and wishing that they could,
what kinds of things were they wanting to, or did they say?
No, not really. Just I am assuming they wanted to comment because they messaged and said they couldn't comment. Yeah. So, and a lot of people were just saying, I the...
Yeah, I was just curious whether anyone was commenting about or talk to you about how they felt about the video, learning about your move-in experience and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in about the tiny house and that was something that I think people are interested to hear more about or to comment on and ask questions about.
And you're more settled in this week.
I am. And thank you to all the people who have helped me sort and put away and find spots for and climb on ladders and dig under tarps and work in the rain and work in the cold and help me get everything in. And now I can say my home is my home, and
so exciting.
Yeah, and it's really pretty, and I'm so thankful, and I feel so lucky to have been chosen to have this home.
How long were you in Cheyenne at it?
Cheyenne and I worked, for anybody who doesn't know, Cheyenne is one of my caregivers who comes in, she helps with housework and anything like domestic tasks, I guess. Yeah. Anything I need her to do. We were at it a few hours. She was on the ladder and up there in the loft.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, she wasn't in the loft, but she was up there arranged in the loft on the top of the ladder. So we did that, and we did a lot of digging boxes out from underneath the tarp. So now all that's left on my veranda is 2 boxes of donations and a couple of loose items that are being donated, and then 2 empty containers.
That's amazing.
Plastic containers. And my Aunt Val did the nicest thing. She gave me one of those old big blue and gold trunks, and it actually still has the lock and the key, and it's so cool. And I can use it for a deck box, to keep.
That's perfect.
So I threw my barbecue and my charcoal in there
that's
you gave me last year for.
Yeah.
And so, and you can also, it also doubles as a seat. I can put a cushion on it and use it as a seat.
Amazing.
So yeah. And I have my double lawn chair out there. I'm just waiting to get rid of those donations so I can sit out. Today was a beautiful day.
Today was gorgeous.
Archie was outside all day in his catio. And I had some visitors. So,
That's
yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah, and my Aunt Val came yesterday with her friend, and that was nice. She brought lunch. We had lunch together, the four of us. Amanda, my
In
aunt.
here?
No.
Holy.
No, over at Amanda's. And then we all came. All four
Yeah,
of us were over here
that's
though.
great, though.
Later, checking things out and seeing. So
That's awesome.
it's been a great week. My OT was here today. She was really impressed. She said a huge step up from where I was living.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she said she could already tell by the look on my face when she arrived that
Yeah.
my mental health will definitely be better here.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I think that's so important. It's just as important as your physical health, right?
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of physical barriers that you always have to overcome when you're in a chair. I mean, that's just part of, I guess, I'm learning that's just part of life that you have to
Yeah.
make adjustments and things. But so far so good, and everything's going well, and I'm very happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
It is.
That is so exciting.
And then next is like decorating for Christmas. That's
I know.
so exciting too.
I know. I'm really excited. So, as you know, I don't know if I think I've told, like, I think we talked about it on the podcast a little bit. Like, we're getting ready for Christmas at the office.
I know.
So, I'm, like, looking up all this DIY stuff to do. I'm trying to be, like, realistic because I'm not super, super artsy. So, like, obviously, like, as I start watching some of them, I'm like, okay, there's no way I can do that.
Oh, I'd love to help you.
But yeah, no, definitely. We'll have to have some
Yeah.
nights. Yeah.
That would
But
be fun.
Some of the stuff just genuinely seems easier, like attainable, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like do it as on budget as I can because
Mm-hmm.
I obviously don't want to spend a whole lot of money doing it. But it's going to be Christmas around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really, really super excited about that.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Even to think about Christmas around the world is
And see
fun.
all the different things. So I was looking at mason jars. So what I was going to do was, like, I had 1,000,001 ideas of what I was going to do. But I was going to do, like, a country or whatever in the mason jar.
I was just gonna say that would be so exciting, and I would love to help you with that.
So it would be really cool, right? So, like,
yeah.
in Japan, for example, they eat KFC on Christmas night. Like,
So
that's the thing.
You'd have a little family sitting in there with a bucket of chicken.
Yeah, or like like just the bucket, or like and you
the
could do like
Japan
little trees,
a little
and stuff.
flag.
You do a little flag.
Oh,
yeah,
so
there's,
cute.
There's so many
Oh,
different
I
things
want to
you could
help.
do.
That would
right?
be fun.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where we're going, and then there's gonna be one room that has like that's like Newfoundland themed, and then there's another room that's gonna be New York themed, and that's just because those coworkers, like, that's kind of where they not where they're from, but well, one of them is from Newfoundland, but one of them loves New York, so those will be more decked out. But there are so many cool things you can do. Like, I was even looking at, you could take branches and paint them white and then put like adhesive on them and dip them with like salt, and it looks like icicles.
Yeah.
Like, people don't think about that kind of stuff, right? You'd rather just go to the store and spend, tons of money. Mm-hmm. But you could just get it, like, anything from outside, right? Like, it's
I'm
pretty
your
cool.
girl. Nature is great for decorating, for crafts, there's a lot of things you can do for very little money.
It's so interesting.
One of the things I love doing is making my own Christmas wreath. Every year I usually try to get out and get some branches and stuff and make my own Christmas
We'll have
wreath.
to do that.
We should, yeah.
That's something I would love to do.
That's a fun
Okay.
thing, and it's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
It's-
made a wreath before.
It's nice. It's easy. And then, like, you just decorate it with, like, you can pick pine cones. You can pick, like, the red berries, the rose hips. You
Yeah.
can use those on it if you want to go all natural. Or, I mean, you can get a bow and some other things at the dollar store. You can...
Yeah.
it's super simple. I usually like to keep it natural. Sometimes I put, like, a bird's nest or just something different in it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, with a little fake bird in it or something.
That's so cool. It's funny. I was like, I'm the ultimate cheapie because I was like at Dollar Store yesterday, and I was like taking pictures of the thing. Well, taking pictures of things that inspired me, but also taking pictures of like.
I'd be there all day.
Well, yeah, I was like, okay, so this bag of snow is $4, and this is how much snow you're gonna get in it. So I took a picture of it, so then I can go to Walmart and see. Do
Is
I
the
get
big
more?
bag
Yeah.
more? Yeah.
sometimes,
It's
because it's
true.
true, right? Like dollar store, I love the dollar store. You can get so many good things, but sometimes it's
Certain
not
things-
as cheap as people think.
Yeah, and certain things like even I find Michael's, if you have like
And
one
their
of those 40
coupons?
coupons, yeah,
Yes.
then it's worth it there to maybe pop in and get a like a bag of snow or something if you got one of those 40% off coupons.
Yeah. No, I
Oh, that
Love
sounds like
it.
so much fun.
know it's so funny because my supervisor was like, I am super excited and I totally trust you and I'm gonna tell everybody because it's a competition that we're gonna like kick ass. But I don't want to do anything, so I'm just gonna leave you to it. And I'm like, honestly, that's fine. I would find it more chaotic if like a million people were in the office trying to do it.
No, I think that it's good that you're in charge.
Yeah, I just need to like see it in my head, but I think it'll be really super fun and I'm excited for Christmas this year, which
Me
is
too,
weird.
which is weird because I am not a Christmassy
Yeah.
person either.
Yeah, but it was really nice, honestly, because I walked up to Tammy's place and there's like lights on the trees and there's like a little snowman and it's like, oh, I love this time of year. I do.
When I was digging out my stuff, that's my vintage snowman that I got.
Okay.
I forget where I got it. One of the thrift stores, I guess. Yeah, at Mission
Thrift?
Thrift. Yeah.
Oh,
and it was one of
really?
those days that it was 75% off, and that was like 99 cents or something. And
Yeah, see, that's a good deal.
so I got it for like a quarter. Anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and that was like from when I was a kid, that thing. So it's probably from the 60s.
Right.
60s or 70s. It's called popcorn. It's those plastic molds, but they call it popcorn because it looks
Right.
like popcorn inside.
Right.
Anyway, it's oops. Knocked the microphone over. Yeah, it's a snowman, and you can put a light inside of it. Oh, I see they're all working now.
That's really cool. She's got solar lights on a tree outside. That is so cool.
It is so cool. Now, if they would just work in tandem, that would be lovely. Anyway,
See, I like that this time of year with the lights and the Christmas tree is like, I don't know, when you have the Christmas tree up and you just sit with it, like, I don't know, I love a Christmas tree.
this is my Christmas tree,
Yeah.
so feel free to throw a decoration on it on your way by.
I remember did you have your white one out last year too?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gave that away though. You
I
sold it.
donated it.
You donated it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Which my daughter wants to kill me because she loved it.
I
and
know.
I didn't know, and if I had known, I would have gave it to her.
You know what? I remember, when they came down. It was not last year. It was the year before.
Oh, and it was such a fun time.
And being around when she opened gifts.
Yeah.
Your granddaughter. Yeah. That was so much fun.
Oh my God! Today, Candy sent me a picture of her, and I swear to God, it was picture day at school, and she's got her hair up in a bun. Anyway, and she's got a pencil skirt on, and a little blouse underneath,
Oh
and a
my
blazer.
God,
A blazer.
stop.
She looked like Rosa Parks. Like,
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh my God. As I said, Rosa Parks. When I sent back the message, and Candy laughed because she's so like. She's dressed like I don't even know where my phone is, but you have to see the picture because it's just adorable.
I bet you she's beautiful.
Yeah, and she's getting so tall and she looks so old and she's only 9.
I know. And her hair, I'm just like, you've got tons of pictures
I know.
on your fridge.
And her hair's longer than that now and she has bangs.
Yes. She is beautiful.
Yes.
She's such a beautiful girl.
She's a sweetie.
She is, and she's so energetic, and she's so, like,
I just love her.
yeah.
I don't know what, I don't know, they say God gives you what you need, but she was definitely what
Yeah.
I needed.
I hope that Candy told her that you said that and talk to her about Rosa Parks. I think that would have been...
Oh yes, sure she will, and she knows who Rosa Parks is. She
Yeah.
has books about her
Yeah.
and all kinds of things.
I
so.
think that would be such a good moment for her.
Kaya, she'll be an advocate. I can just see it because she's not.
She's so much like that, eh?
She's like her mom a lot. Like she
got a
fights
lot
for
of
the
strength.
underdog, and like not afraid to say, if somebody's doing something that's not right.
Yeah.
So, And I mean, sometimes it gets her into trouble, I think, but she's got a strong personality, and those are the people that are going to make changes in the world,
Yeah.
right? I think.
Oh yeah, she's so sweet. She's gonna do.
And she
great
loves
things.
you. She always loves you.
Yeah, we'll have to go up and like see them or something.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, well, you're more than welcome to come when we go up, because I am going up for Christmas
When?
dinner.
Oh my god.
Same as we did last year, where we we're going to go to Swiss Chalet,
Yes.
and we'll do it because I can't get into their apartment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to do that. So you're more than
In
welcome
December?
to come.
Or
I'm
might
not
be
sure if
November.
it'll be before Christmas or after. Last year, I think we did it in the week between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh my god, that feels so long ago. That feels so long ago.
It was so much fun though. They gave us this whole big space, and we just spread out, and Kaya opened presents, and well, we all opened presents, but it
What,
was
at
more
Chalet?
Yeah, but it was more about like we had a really nice meal together, and it was just cool. That was when Kaya
can't-
gave Leo the burrito, the tree decoration. We found that the other day when we were packing, and he
my
took it
God.
home. So
Oh, he'll have to let me know if there's some sort of, because I'll do Mexico in a jar.
Yeah.
He'll have to let me know if there's something.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's
what
cool
kind-
because we know a lot of people from a lot of different places. So we'll have to
Yeah,
ask.
I'll have to do one for Belize too.
Yeah,
Obviously.
and I'll ask Amanda about, because she lived in Holland, so
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know one of the traditions in Holland is that you buy a book for somebody on Christmas Eve, and you read your book on Christmas Eve.
Really?
Yeah,
you could put. I
exchange
could
gifts.
put like a
yeah.
miniature book in there.
Yeah,
Oh, that is so
yeah.
cool.
She'd be able to tell you more about it, but
I didn't know she lived in Holland.
yes, her first husband was from Holland.
Fancy.
Yeah, she lived there. I'm not sure how many years, but Bijou. I don't know if Bijou was born there or.
Oh yeah, I feel like she told me this. Actually, now that you're saying it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's cool.
That is so cool when people like live.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's neat to find out how, like, the customs and things in other countries. I think the other, like the Nordic countries, like Sweden and Denmark and things like that, they have a lot of cultural,
Things.
like Father Christmas and, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one does. There's one country that does like a lot of lanterns, and I can't remember which one it is.
And there's also a country that does Festival of Lights, like a big, it's a huge thing. And it might be Australia.
Australia is also interesting because it's like opposite of what we have
Yes.
as far as weather.
It's summertime.
Yeah.
Christmas is in summertime for them. Yeah.
The world is kind of a funny place, eh?
Okay.
I could not imagine it being summer right now.
I mean, we have people, I guess, that watch us or listen to us from all over the world. So
Yeah.
chime in if you're from somewhere. In
If
an
our
other-
comments are working.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of the world being a weird place, what in the world was the temperature today? It was so warm outside.
It was.
I was out there in a tank top.
I know.
And we're in November.
I was sweltering to death in training. I was like, oh, gross.
Literally, it was like, well, Archie stayed out all day.
Yeah.
And I was out a lot of the day on the sorting things on the deck, but it was so warm. I was like, I never checked the temperature, but I'm sure it must have been in the high teens,
Yeah, it had to have been.
at least.
It had to have been at least.
And like 2 days ago, it was like freezing. There was ice, and it was so cold.
I know.
Because when we were trying to bring in the rest of the boxes, it was freezing, like freezing. You had to wear gloves, and then our world is just so weird.
Yeah, it's just changing, right? The weather is
Yeah.
changing so rapidly, and we actually are we out of hurricane season now?
No, November's the end of hurricane season. Yeah.
So like, I thought we would but we haven't had one yet. I'm not gonna say.
Don't even
haven't
say that.
Said one, but yet.
The way our weather's been, anything's possible.
Yeah, it's just weird because, yeah, like I thought we'd have something major and.
Speaking
even
of that, I saw
snowstorms.
something really inspiring this week.
Yeah.
I saw that, I'm not sure if it was the Amish people, I think it was the Mennonite people. I don't know if a lot of you know, but North Carolina got hit really hard this last storm. They had a lot of intense flooding, and
Yeah.
a lot of people lost their homes and things. So I believe it was the Amish are there, and they are building tiny homes for people who have lost their homes.
Wow.
free of charge. They're building them and giving them to people.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw it. There was a picture, and I think it said 59 Amish people were selflessly donating their labor, material, and time, basically to build tiny houses for those people who have lost their homes in North Carolina.
That's really good.
Like, that just, to me, that shows, like, people can talk about being a Christian or being a good person or whatever, but to me, I like to see, like, feet on the ground,
Like
doing
action.
Action, yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what it's all about, right? Like, being kind to your neighbor and being selfless and doing those things. And I mean, I fell short of that a lot of times, but that really inspires me. I love seeing that.
That's great.
Yeah. And it was kind of cool to me because they were tiny homes, right? That's what,
Yeah.
I forget which, of course, I'm on a million tiny home sites, but
Not surprising.
yeah. Anyway, that was a really cool thing to see, especially in this day and age, because people don't do anything for nothing.
Real. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So something funny happened yesterday. This is pretty funny. So I was chatting with my supervisor, just over the phone. Mm-hmm. I was driving home, so obviously, like, on Bluetooth or whatever. So I'm driving home, or driving to my parents' house. Driving to my parents' house, doing whatever. Park outside my parents' house. We're still chatting away, which is normal for me, because I always, like, I'm usually chatting with somebody as I'm outside my parents' house. Or even at my house. Anywhere.
Anytime she pulls in.
Yeah, so we're just chatting away and whatever. And Mom came home from work, so she pulls into the driveway. I'm on the side of the road. And I'm talking, and I'm like, as I'm talking, I'm like, geez, the other line, like, did she, like, are we going through a bad area? Like, she seemed really quiet, right? And then I finished talking, like, maybe 30 seconds to a minute later, and there's, like, no response. There's nothing. And I'm like, oh my God, did I say something to, like, offend her? Hello, what's going on? And there was no answer. And I'm like, what? And I look at my phone, and I click on, like, whereas as my mom pulled up,
oh no, it connected to her?
it connected to her Bluetooth.
So was she talking to your supervisor?
Yeah, so apparently in my mom's car, so my supervisor said she heard like almost like a thump, and then she started to hear like, who's this? Who's this? Which would have been my mom. Mm-hmm. So my supervisor thought I had gotten into some sort of accident. And my mom, because I guess my supervisor was like, Megan, like, what's going on? And when she said, who's this? My supervisor was like, oh my God, she's been hit. Now she's got amnesia. She doesn't know where she is. And my mom thought, because she kept saying Megan, she thought it was like some sort of spam caller impersonating me.
Oh no.
So then she got annoyed, like, who's this? I'm leaving. And she goes to hang up or whatever. And then I end up like switching it back over to my car. But oh my God.
That's hilarious.
I was just like, where? Like, why isn't she responding? But yeah, so then Mom came over and I was like, meet my supervisor. And she was like, hi, supervisor. My supervisor was like, hi, Mom. But yeah, I didn't even know that could happen.
That's what, technology is great, but it's also scary sometimes if you don't know what's possible,
You've seen
right?
on
like,
Facebook?
Speaking, what?
Like if there was a post that had like lots of comments,
yeah,
and you click on the comments, it'll say Meta AI, and then it'll summarize comments.
Oh yeah, the comments.
I've only just noticed that, and it's creepy.
It's just started though.
Yeah.
I'm sure there must have been an update to Facebook like just recently.
Yeah,
and because that just started like probably within the last week.
I mean,
or
it's
so.
helpful, but I'm also like,
no. There's too much.
It feels creepy.
I'm not a fan of AI. I'm sorry.
It just feels creepy a little bit. Just a little bit. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I don't think it was Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because we're all on the same internet here.
Yeah.
I can click on my remote and it says bedroom TV, and that's not my bedroom TV. So I'm glad that I labeled my device Tammy's TV. Because otherwise, I'll be changing the channels.
Do you know what? I do
That's
that. So same situation, because you have the Roku, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Same situation
Oh, up and
upstairs
down.
and downstairs, and I can't tell you how many times
You've
I've
changed it.
switched. Yeah, I've switched his channels, like Len, my father-in-law's channels
That's
downstairs.
hilarious.
Like, oh my god! But that's funny. You could look up like a funny video or whatever and
And
stream
send it, yeah.
You could stream it to their
Shh. Shh.
If you're listening, you know who.
That would be a great prank.
Oh, that would be. You'll have to do it in enough time where she'll forget.
I'll have to wait. I'll have to write that one down and wait.
Play the long game.
It's funny because we were saying, calling her the landlady, and she says, "Yeah, I'm one of those landladies like that hang around with a cigarette hanging out of my mouth."
Oh
and,
my
like
god.
the scary landlady.
Oh my god, that's funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
So I think we were kind of going to talk about pets.
Yeah, it was sad this week.
Yeah.
And I know it was much more sad for Megan than me, but it was
Yeah.
sad for me too because I love Ollie. And Oliver is Megan's dog that they've
Yeah.
had for a long time. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about
Yeah, so it would have been Friday night. I got home around like 5 o'clock, and we were all just sitting around the kitchen or in the living room. And Andrew, my brother-in-law, was like, "Oh, something's going on with Oliver." And he all I can explain is that he was like drunk yet paralyzed. So like he kind of hobbled. I mean, this isn't gonna make any sense to anyone who hasn't seen that place, but hobbled from like our kitchen to our living room over to our TV. And so the thing is, he broke his leg a long time ago. So sometimes he will like keep it up. And so that's fine. So he had the leg up, but he also like didn't really have any control over his other legs. Like it was like he didn't know how to work properly, hence the drunkenness. And then when he got to around the TV area, I immediately went over and I sat on the ground with him and I like guided him to like lay down. But it was like he was like almost paralyzed, but you could see like his eye. This is what got me. His eyes looked at me like.
And when you said that to me,
like, "Help, mommy, what's going on, mommy?" Like it just like he looked so scared. So I like talked to him or whatever. And then I don't know, I had Richard wasn't there, so I had Trudy call Richard, and not even like 2 minutes later, like he was as if nothing happened. And so it just freaked us out. We were like, we weren't sure if he got something caught in his, like if he was scratching, got his paw caught in his collar and it freaked him out, but it looked like a mini seizure is what it looked like. But it was hard to really tell because when we think of seizure, we think of like
shaking and
like the violent seizures. So then anyway, I go upstairs with Oliver. We lay down. He sleeps for a while. Richard's not home yet. I'm just reading a book. But when Richard gets home, his two back legs were walking weird. The best way I can explain it was like, sometimes dogs walk weird when they have boots on? Mm-hmm. That's kind of how his back legs were.
He was trying to, same as when it first snows and they step out and they lift them really high.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. And he was like waddling his bum a little bit. It was kind of weird. So anyway, Richard was like kind of nervous about it. We went upstairs. We went with Oliver, and I could tell the moment he had the other one because he turned to me and he looked at me with those eyes again and like kind of quickly hobbled over. So he didn't really walk as far as he did the first time. And again, he just kind of laid and stared at me as I pet him. And so at that point, we called the vet. Because I was like, okay, we're going to have to take him in. I have to give a shout out to Central Nova. I think it's Central Nova Vet in Bible Hill. So they are Oliver's vet. And they happen to be like because I think what they do is
they rotate on call.
So Central Nova happened to be the one on call, which is great. Mm-hmm. And as hard as it was for her to deliver the news she delivered, which was he is a very senior dog. He's 11 years old. It might sound like a seizure. It might be that he ate something a little moldy outside, but it sounds more like a seizure. And she kind of just talked us through. She said, really and truly, the only way to determine whether there's something going on brain-wise is to do like CAT scans and MRIs, and she said, and those are like tens of thousands of dollars. So people normally don't do them with older dogs. Or you could do blood work. She said that the seizures weren't that long. They 30 seconds to a minute, if that. And so right now, like, she would come in and see him absolutely if we wanted to, and she had a spot open the next morning in case we wanted to go in that next morning. But she was able to like really talk us down and like tell us. She was open and honest, but in a very kind and gentle way, and acknowledge, you know, it's got to be hard to be like, to tell someone, you know what, old age is old age,
and
right?
there's really nothing you can do.
And there's really nothing you can do.
Even if you did spend the tens of thousands of dollars and find out, okay, you know, he's got dementia or he's got whatever, there's still nothing you can do.
There's nothing. And so even like, she was like, we could even look at seizure medication, but on older dogs, it typically doesn't work, or it creates more side effects.
More problems, yeah.
Yeah, so we had, the first time he had the first seizure, I called the vet and I booked an appointment for Monday. So we're like, well, we have an appointment Monday. It's Friday night. We'll kind of assess. The whole weekend, he's done nothing. He's done nothing up until this point. Like, it's not returned. And when he went to the vet, you know, they looked over, his lungs were good, his heart rate was good, everything was good. His weight was good. He was a perfectly healthy dog. So even the vet said, you know, it's only happened twice, and they weren't very long. It's not going to create any more damage. He said, I will absolutely do the blood work for you. It's like $400 or $500, but like, oh, I know.
It's crazy.
I know.
It's absolutely crazy.
I know. But he said, and not that I'm discouraging you from the blood work, but usually the blood work isn't going to tell anything. And then he also explained that, like, if it was an ear thing or like tumor types of things, that it would be like a lasting effect. Like, he explained, like, with the ear thing, he would be walking in circles.
Or be off balance, on one side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he basically, so they said it's basically like mini seizure. He just had like a mini seizure. So
similar to what people have, like a TIA, one of those little mini strokes.
Yes. Yeah.
When
exactly.
they get older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to that.
Yeah. So of course, like, Friday night was really emotional, because we didn't know how often this would happen, if it would happen again, and it may happen again. And that's the other thing the vet said. Might happen tomorrow, might happen a few years from now, might never happen again. It could be any of those things. Yeah. And so I just remember calling Mom and being like, you know, it might be the start of the end or whatever. And she was like, it's so interesting, the difference in, like, talking to different family members, but like, Mom was just like crying and like, I know, sweetie, I'm so sorry, sweetie, I'm so sorry, sweetie. Like, she was so good that way.
Your mom's an angel.
Oh, she responded just so good. And it really allowed Richard and I to talk about, like, we made the decision about, like, when the time comes, like, I know everybody loves Oliver, but like, when the time comes, it's just going to be me and Richard in the room. Like,
yes, absolutely.
You know, if he dies naturally at home or whatever, that's one thing. But if we have to take him to the vet, like,
yeah, of
it's
course,
just going to be us.
Of course,
yeah.
And that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, he's your dog. Everybody, there's a lot of us that love him, but you know, he's your dog.
And he does look like such an old man. Like, he's white all over basically at this point. He's so white. But yeah, no, it's hard. It's like you do become attached.
I'll tell you, this was nothing as bad as that, but when I came here and moved, I was more worried about Archie than anything.
Right, because it's so different. Right.
So I couldn't wait for him to pee and poop to make sure that he was okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, of course, Archie, like Archie always, right on point. I throw the litter box under there, and he's like in it and doing his business, right? Like,
oh, I thought you were gonna say, oh, Archie being Archie decided not to pee or poop.
No,
to drive
Archie
crazy.
just went in there and did his business and came back out and walked around like, I've been here all my life, you know, like. And I was like, oh yes, because I get anxiety about things like that. I was thinking, okay, will he get diarrhea? Because sometimes if he's stressed, he gets diarrhea. But he has been a champ with this move. that's another thing. That was another signal to me that this is where I'm meant to be. Because
He has been really good.
he, like,
Yeah.
that first night he settled in and remember leaned against the window and leaned back and watched TV like an old man.
Yes.
So, yeah. Animals, I'm telling you, they attach themselves to us in ways that, I don't know, you'll just never understand unless you have an animal like that.
And it's interesting because, like, when I think back to, like, my family pets, like, it's like certain animals are, like, destined for certain people. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
Scooby-Doo, like, I named him Scooby-Doo, he was, like, a yellow lab. My dad was really attached to him. He was my dog, but my dad was super attached to him. And then Lily, which was, like, a black lab, my mom was really attached to her, and then obviously Nanook and Emma are close. But also my dad is very attached to Nanook.
Oh, well, that's understandable because Nanook is there a lot with him.
Nanook is there all the time, and my dad doesn't work, so, like, they're together all the time.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah, like, they have a really special bond, so it's, like, it's funny how different animals and people, like, just attach. Like, you know what I mean?
Like when Megan pulled in tonight, I said, Auntie Megan is here. And Archie went right over to the door and because the door has glass in it, right to the bottom. He loves it. And he's like sitting there, he's like looking and he could see you. And Megan was, of course, in her car finishing up whatever she was finishing up. So she took a minute. So he's looking and he kept looking and I'm like, she's coming, just wait. You know? But, and
That's
then
so funny.
earlier today when I had visitors, anyway, when they were walking down the walkway, Archie and I were in the bed nook, and he goes "Grrr," like this, and I'm like, oh,
Because
like
you raised him like a dog.
he
Like,
knew
is like a
immediately
dog.
that there were strangers coming or
Yeah.
people coming but he was like, "Grrr."
Yeah.
and then he ran right to the door.
It's so weird how just certain pets stick with you. I know, like, similar to Archie, my good friend in Newfoundland, she had a cat, Princess. And Princess was like Archie in the way of, like, basically Princess was like a dog. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you like would love attention. Like, you'd go into her apartment and Princess would, like, flop on her back and want tummy rubs.
That's what everybody that comes here says. Oh my God, we thought he would run and hide or he'd be scared or
No.
whatever, and he loves people.
Yeah, so it's so funny, but you do become, like,
I don't care what
attached.
anybody says. When you have an animal that you really have raised from, you know,
And you bond with.
you bond it with them. They're like family members. I'm sorry. I mean, they're not, of course, not going to come before your family members, but
Yeah.
especially in a situation like me, I'm single and I'm alone. So he's like my,
Archie was a saving grace.
yes. Yeah. I probably wouldn't be here. That's the honest truth if it wasn't for Archie.
Yeah, no, Archie is,
Archie came along just the right time.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is, like, they're like emotional support. Well, it's, so, and I'm not going to get into the whole whatever of last night, but, like, people were upset. The election happened last night in the U.S. and the results are the results. And so in the training, people were feeling a certain way at the training this morning. And one of the people that were attending my training brought her 2 dogs.
Oh, cool.
So that was really
Oh,
good
what a
because people
nice-
were like,
yeah.
you know, able to play and cuddle and
That's awesome.
yeah, I thought that was really good too because
I
you
love
need
work
it.
environments that allow pets to come, even if it's just occasionally. And I love when you have. The last time I was at the hospital getting blood work, I met a man who brings his dog. He's on some kind of program. Brings his dog into the hospital to visit. I don't know if it's long-term patients or mental health patients or who, but he brings the dog in and they go around from room to room. And I thought, what an awesome thing, because that's so nice. Because most people, love to see an animal or it makes them happy, reminds them of, maybe they had a dog before. Or
I bet you. So Nook, my sister's dog, just for anyone who didn't know, is a husky. And Nanook went through St. John's ambulance to become a therapy dog. So he's not like he wouldn't have the vest and everything. He's not. There's a difference between the therapy dog and like
Service dog.
a service dog. Yes. So Nanook would do the same thing. I think Nanook goes into like the nursing homes and stuff, and Emma works at a nursing home now. So like sometimes Nanook will go to work with her.
Yeah, and that's an awesome thing too, because they say a lot of the patients that have dementia,
Yeah.
when you bring a pet in like that it brings back memories for them.
Yeah.
And it really makes them happy. So that's an awesome thing that pets are allowed in places like that. Because I can remember a day when that wasn't.
Yeah.
That would never happen.
Yeah. And I think too, like you said, people really don't understand. Like I know people who can't have kids biologically, right? Like they just can't. They, for whatever life circumstance, they just don't have children. They might have wanted children, but then they have, a pet, like a dog or a cat, and that is their everything, right? And so
They're everything.
yeah, I think that sometimes people don't understand how deep a relationship with your pet can
The
go.
only unfortunate thing about pets and them being your children or like your children is pets don't live as long as a human.
I know.
And unfortunately, we have to bear
The grief.
the grief of losing the pet.
I know. That's going to be hard. Like I always say to Richard, like that, like I definitely would have to like take time off, like not extended time or whatever,
no,
but like it would be like a death, like it would be a death,
100%.
Like for me, it wouldn't just be like, oh, whatever. Like it would, he's 11 years old. We've had him since he was 1. So we've had him for 10 years. I mean, that's when you're with someone every day, I mean, you even cry when you say goodbye to your coworkers of 10 years,
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Yep.
They do mean a whole lot.
There was another interesting thing that I saw was that death doulas, they're talking about when people are in palliative care or they're dying, or even after they pass, it's important to show the pet the body, so they know, because a lot of pets will think that you've left them. You know what I mean? Like purposely left them and not come back and got them. But apparently if you show the pet the body, they understand death.
That is so when Richard's uncle died, he had a dog. And so Otto, the dog, is now living with one of Richard's other uncles. But apparently he would not eat, like for the first couple of days. Otto didn't eat.
Sometimes dogs that are super bonded with an owner that passes will pass very quickly behind.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, now he's eating and stuff, but he stopped eating and drinking for like a day or two. And, thankfully the uncle that took him in, like they're obviously well acquainted. And I would almost say that like he's probably not getting more loving, but they're different types of owners. So like,
Different types of love.
Different types of love. And I think Otto would need that right now. So that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is sad, but it's also like pets bring so much joy.
You can't even...
Like when you walk through the door and Oliver's like jumping and super excited
And for me, like when I go to sleep at night and Archie gets up and gets on top of me and starts kneading, or else if I'm not... He seems to sense when I have pain in my legs because he'll knead my legs.
Really?
Yeah. And normally he'll knead, like, if I'm laying on my side, he'll knead my shoulder or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't wince or make noises or anything like that. So he senses, but he will, like, literally
That's
knead.
so awesome.
Yeah. And when I was getting massages on the regular and they were coming to my house and doing it, he would, when they were massaging me, he would get right down there and do the same thing, like start kneading. Yeah.
Yeah, see, and they know emotion. I know, like, Friday night when, like, Richard was crying and then I was crying and, like, Oliver just looked at us like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And he'd tilt his head like, what's wrong? What are you? And he'd, like, walk over to Richard, then he'd walk over to me.
And he probably had no memory of what happened.
Right? Probably not.
No, because I do believe when that happens, that's the case, right? That it's like you have this little blip of amnesia of what that happened.
Yeah, so he was just kind of like, what's wrong? But, like, Oliver will do that, like, if you're crying
and I'm
or whatever.
sure you guys all weekend were just, like, watching him like a hawk because you were terrified
Yeah.
it would happen again.
Yeah.
And you're probably still like on edge.
Yeah.
Because I know if that was me, I would be like on constant guard and wondering, is he okay? And not wanting to leave him alone. And
Yeah, it's I know. Yeah, it's I just have to say, like, the Central Nova, so, and they're, like, when Emma takes Nanook to the vet, like, she's always coming home with like $300-400 bills, and like for him to go in on Monday morning and do that checkup and whatever, it was like $60. Like,
yeah, that's
that
really
vet
good.
is, and you know what, that vet could have easily said, oh, absolutely, you need blood work, let's charge you the $400-500, but he was honest, like,
Yeah. I've had really good luck. Archie's vet is Fundy Vet, so
Okay,
Murray
yeah.
Siding. Luckily, he's only ever had to go there to get fixed and have his shots when he was little. But they were amazing too. Like,
yeah.
I find the vets in our area here are good. We have some good vets.
Yeah, so I really have to give a shout out to them because, it would be easy. And same
Very
thing with,
easy to just
Right.
say, well, he needs blood work or he needs this or that, and
Well, same thing with the vet on the emergency. She could have made a mint off of us coming in and doing a check over with him
Yeah.
when she just knew, listen, probably doesn't need to come in. Like, if it happens again, like, you can call me anytime at night.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to come in the morning, we've got like an extra, because they have like emergency schedules. Appointments. So she's like, there's a couple in the morning and in the afternoon. Like, we'll get you in tomorrow if you want. But like, yeah, I thought it was great. Like,
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I love
very
to hear that.
knowledgeable.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
Very
it was
good.
really good. So is there anything else you want to say about pets before we log off?
I don't think so. I advise everybody to have at least one pet during their life,
Yeah.
just to feel what real love feels like, unconditional love.
Yeah, we have a lot of followers that have like cats and dogs.
Yes, a lot of our people already are animal people, right?
Yeah, I think of Linda, who's a cat lady.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I know Tara has a cat.
Yes.
Who
Oh
else
my
have I
god,
seen?
did I tell you about what happened when I don't even think I told Tara what happened when I was delivering her package one day.
No.
So I was with my friend from Newfoundland. She had just flown down and we were doing deliveries. And I pull up to the house and I'm like, this looks different. So anyway, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm walking up and I put the bag down on the deck and I kind of look in and I see like a girl and a guy there and I'm like, okay, she's not there or whatever. And they didn't really notice me, but something just didn't seem right. And then I realized her house was the house over.
No.
So I missed her house. And
Oh my God.
So what was worse, because normally when I deliver, I'm just like, I kind of fire it onto the deck. But this night, apparently, I decided to walk up the steps and put the bag like right in front of
by
the
the
door.
door.
So then I had to go back. So of course they see me and they're like, why is this random woman dropping something random off and then running away? And then I had to go
coming back and getting it.
and grab the package.
You see Megan on some kind of rant and rave.
I totally forgot.
There's
I
this
should have told Tara that.
purple-haired woman.
Oh my god. I'll
Ouch.
have to tell Tara that. We have to get her on for...
Yes, Tara, if you're listening to us, we need you. We need you.
Because the dating one would be so much
The
fun.
dating one we really need to talk
That
about.
would
And
be
Tara, I feel
so
like
funny.
can hit that nail on the head.
She is so funny. Like, she's
hilarious.
full of life.
Yeah, she's great. I think
She's
she'd
full
be a
of life.
wonderful guest.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And if anybody else has any ideas and wants to come on and be a guest,
We'd love that.
We would love that. So just get in touch with us, send us a message, comment below. Hopefully the comments are working this week.
Oh my gosh.
And
Stressing me out.
yeah. And we hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you Friday. Mwah.
Hiding, no more feeling small. We're taking up space, standing proud and tall. Our voice is strong, our stories to be heard. Challenging the stereotypes, flipping the world, the chronicles of